So, yep, we are recording. Everything seems to be okay.
You can't view the history of dialogue. I was going to scroll up and see what the last few lines were. You can only do that if you were playing in one session.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Up on the D-pad, it just does that. You can't rewind to look at the previous lines to recap. It only remembers that while you're playing.
So the excuse that this game was meant to be played in short bursts isn't even true because you can't remember what happened because it
doesn't bode well for the game that you can't review past lines in it. No.
Is that some kind of like no?
Yeah,
wait.
like log is blacked out.
How can a log be blacked out when you know exactly what's said? It's not like we're writing our own script.
Evidently, I guess this game keeps its log by actually recording the information on the fly of what the last X number of messages were instead of just knowing because it's a linear script and letting you scroll up through it.
But I thought Sigma has photographic memory. He can't remember what people said to him? This is like canonically not accurate.
So, if it's not clear already, the ending was very long. So, despite the fact that we had set up an entire day for it, we kind of had to stop because we looked up somebody else's Let's Play and realized that where we were was like 2 hours away from the ending at their pace, which is probably faster than ours. So we're like, fuck, we're not gonna make it tonight. It's already midnight. Like we were like, we can do this today, and we were like going for it. But midnight came around, and we're like, fuck, I'll just look up somebody else's Let's Play real quick just to reference it. And I found where we were. And there was like 2 hours left on their clock, and they were clearly going faster than we were up until that point. So I'm like, oh no, we're doomed. So here we are.
Yeah.
Your trip from Earth to this facility was aboard a spaceship powered by an annihilation engine. Following your arrival, your pods were placed in long-term storage.
Is that necessary?
What?
An annihilation engine.
That's what I was just about to say. I was like, this seems really risky.
Yeah, you always hear about annihilation engines in terms of like super long-term space travel for like Interstellar or Star Trek and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not even in The Martian, the no plan was to have an annihilation engine. They had some kind of like continual acceleration engine that would like keep building up speed, and then by the time you're midway through the trip to Mars, it'd be going so fast that you'd be making good speed and everything. And then there's a whole like deceleration process when you're going to arrive there and everything. But like, it's just to the moon? I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how fast?
Shit about space travel though.
Because I thought traveling to the moon, isn't traveling to the moon like a day or two most?
I think it's way longer than that.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it's a week to go around. Like I thought it's a week to circle the moon.
I don't know how long it takes, but I don't think that 1 day is applicable now.
I mean, but an annihilation engine would be like 3 times the speed, or like almost 4 times the speed of a regular rocket. Wouldn't you just like crash into the moon? Like,
I'm definitely still waiting for the explanation of why this entire operation was necessary, as opposed to just because they seem to know about the virus already, so why not just stop it? But also, why does it have to be on the moon? I'm curious about that. Aside from the fact that they had to make this really contrived Radical 6 explanation for why people don't know they're on the moon, which is like a next level of like, what? Huh. Yeah, I'm trying to think about that. It's also just weird that like the level of weirdness going on there is like they put us on the moon because they wanted to have it be a plot twist that we're on the moon, right?
Yep.
But you can't make it a plot twist that you're on the moon because of the whole gravity problem. So they had to contrive a disease that exactly undoes the effects of moon's gravity on your perception, apparently, which, despite all their explanations, I don't think actually works.
No.
Because there's too many problems besides just speed in that explanation.
Well, yeah, because
like,
just
altering your perception of speed does not alter all of gravity's properties.
Yes,
the way that they're going for.
And we know that because Phi can jump like super high in the air, but
and somehow no one noticed that they can jump higher.
Yeah, but
ever?
no one else accidentally like jumped or like no one got startled and was like, oh, and like, you know, did that little hop back, but then flew because gravity just is so much lighter.
Or the many times people physically fight each other in this game.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that gravity's wrong except Phi, who just seems to also not know it almost.
Yeah, she doesn't.
She doesn't seem to be aware, even though she's clearly doing crazy shit.
And also holding people down makes no sense.
Also, someone made the argument, like, we kept being like, why do people keep thinking leaping is faster in this game? And somebody was like, it's because they're on the moon. It's like, Good thing we were already past that part, or you'd just be spoiling this, asshole. But, because people just spoil shit constantly when you ask a question because they're assholes. But, like, the whole point of Radical 6 is that it undoes the apparent speed effects, so like leaping would not be seen as a faster way of getting around because of the fact that they don't know they're on the moon. Like, there's so many tangles going on there, but also like, it's weird that they use that the thing that is presumably the Earth-ending disease is also the contrivance they use to not know they're on the moon.
Yeah,
but. And we talked about this before, the fact that it's like a 2-stage Radical 6 thing. Where like there's Radical 6 where you just don't notice you're on the moon, then there's Radical 6 where you're a suicidal lunatic monster that has Hulk powers and is like obliterating people and just trying to sprint off and kill yourself, of which like we don't even vaguely experience those effects in this state that we're in. And somehow you can cure that Radical 6 without curing this Radical 6, which is like, I cannot process that idea. I can't explain it.
Well, the
all.
writer isn't a disease specialist. Like, I don't think he understands how curing a disease works. I think he's...
Well, like, here's the thing.
Or it could be a translation error. They might just be assuming... he might have been trying to say that you... that you, like, kind of nullified one portion.
You know how you fix it, Andrew?
How?
You make Radical 6 not the deadly disease.
Wait,
obviously Radical 6 has to stay being the slow-mo disease, right?
Yeah.
Because Radical 6, like, it has to be the slow-mo disease because of the fact that it's called Radical 6. It's named after its slow-mo properties.
Yeah.
So of the two, Radical 6 has to be the disease that causes the moon plot twist to be legit, basically, right? Mm-hmm. But you need a different disease that's the one that wipes out Earth and causes people to kill themselves. Let's call it the happening disease. Because that's what it is. It's just the happening where people murder themselves on purpose.
Yeah.
From the happening. You know, just so we're clear, there's a direct line between this and the worst M. Night Shyamalan movie. So enjoy that comparison, audience.
The worst?
Yes.
I think Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, you're right. Shit, I keep forgetting that the goalpost keeps moving.
Whoa, man.
You're right. Avatar and After Earth are both worse than The Happening. Fucking After Earth is hilarious. But like, it's a simpler fix, right? Just to have, like, there's a suicide disease and Radical 6 are two different things.
No.
Don't even call Radical 6 a disease. Call it like a serum or like a drug. They're on this drug called Radical 6.
It's even simpler, Keith. You know what you could do? You can simply say that Radical 6 is the disease that slows down your perception of time, but there is a rare chance that you may develop a mutation of that disease called Radical 6.5, and it will make you suicidal. Or Radical 6S. There you go.
6S? 6S?
Slows it down, kills it too. But
like, I'm really struggling with this idea that you have like a 2-stage disease that somehow can be cured.
Well, that's the thing. You can say...
But then curing it doesn't actually remove it from your system?
Well, that's the thing.
It cures the one bad part of it and nothing else?
That's why I'm saying if you made it easier by just saying it's a mutation, you have a cure for the mutation, but you can't get rid of Radical 6.
I don't think that's even how it works, though.
I mean, you can... I mean, that's how influenza... Well, you can't cure influenza, but influenza works that way, where it has different mutations, and those mutations have to be approached differently, like from a genetic standpoint.
If they ever come up with an explanation for the shit, but I feel like they might have moved on from that subject permanently now, and I'm like, that was not happy with that solution. I need a better explanation game.
Does that make sense?
No.
My favorite part of this entire playthrough is the first line they say every time we have a long discussion, and how often it's perfect.
Are you telling me we were sleeping in those pods here for 45 years?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's one of the easier ideas in this game to comprehend, honestly.
Yeah, why is that hard to believe? Like, cryosleep
they're shocked because it's their own life.
Well, I meant more like...
For this day.
But why?
Let's find out.
What do you need us for?
Well, you see, are you familiar with the concept of a slingshot?
You are an Esper, aren't you, Clover? I mean that you are able to access the 4th dimension.
Only off camera.
Wait, so Esper's access the 4th dimension now? Has that always been true?
Yeah, because they're calling 4th dimension time, remember? We just had a long thing about the 4th dimension last session.
Oh, right, we changed the rules of how morphogenetic fields work, and now it works in time, not in
Yeah, now it's
Like-
time, and yeah, that did. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Someone will argue with us about that, but yes, they changed the rules between the games. 999 was about transmitting to other people in real time, and it was specifically about transmitting to a different person who was not you.
But Keith, which is
the whole point of the ending, where you were communicating with Akane, not yourself.
But in the past.
In that point, yeah.
But also not, because based on the rules, it was an Akane that was existing.
That's also confusing, as you can't tell if you're. It's hard to tell if you were transmitting to the new Akane or the old Akane, which were different people.
God. Yeah, what timeline was that?
I don't know.
Because
I still can't tell you if it's a multiverse or not, Andrew.
Because you affected.
Like I keep they keep presenting it like it's a multiverse, maybe.
Yeah.
But also, 999 is about you affecting your own timeline's past.
You know what I learned? I learned that no one...
As you can tell from the fact that Akane is affected by the events of it.
Yeah.
Like, if you fail, Akane disappears, which means it's one continuous timeline where the past and future affect each other and can be changed.
Yes.
But also, we seem to have a multiverse, maybe?
Well, we have to have a multiverse because we're going through different timelines, and then...
Which is fucked up, because if it's a multiverse, that means that every single one of these schemes to save someone involve killing like 100 people, because you're killing copies of the same people.
Does that really matter in the grand scheme of the Earth being wiped out?
It happens for all of those. It matters for all those multiverses where they're fucked.
That's not the one we're on.
So that one can be happy. It's the one we're on all the other ones most of the game. We only get to be on the right multiverse once.
You know what's...
we get to die on the other multiverses like 50 times.
You know what's more fucked up? If you look even further down, Phi and Sigma get to choose what reality they want to be in. They get to choose to be in the good one.
But everyone else is fucked.
Everyone else is fucked.
Because apparently now we have people leaping as a thing, which was not true before. So is that specific to them?
Yes.
Like, does Akane have this? Like, are we gonna find out that these are like X-Men, where like everyone is like a special version of Esper that has their own power?
Everyone's an X-Men.
This will be like the Dreamcast game Psychic Force 2023 or whatever it was called, where you have everyone's a different psychic. That's a fire psychic and stuff like that.
Christ.
But that's a telekinetic psychic. So they'll be like, Akane is the only psychic that can affect other versions of herself from her own timeline, but like Junpei can transmit across long distances to other individuals at different times, but like Sigma and Phi can jump into other copies of themselves from other multiverses. Like, are the rules different for each one? Is that why it's so confusing?
Does that mean Clover's Esper ability is to smile in uncomfortable situations?
Clover's Esper ability is exclusively to receive information from Snake, who's dead now, so she's not an Esper. As far as I can tell.
Wait a second. Yeah, if
Clover has never been an Esper on camera. She's exclusively an Esper in flashback.
She's always an Esper in flashback.
She's presumably an Esper in the child experiment, and she apparently was one when they were an agent. Both of which are off during the games.
Yeah, how does that work? Because technically, yeah, based on these rules, I guess Clover is still an Esper, but in the basis of 999, she has lost her ability because Snake is dead.
She's presumably, she's presumably a receiver for a transmitter, and the transmitter is dead now, so
she can only receive. So she, okay. Wait, you know what I also learned?
This all goes into the fact that I was hoping that since the end of the first game sets up this whole psychic process, that the next game people just already know they're psychics, so that then we could then have explanations of how the fuck this works.
Yeah.
But instead we had to go through a whole game of them not knowing they're psychics, so at the end of the game we can then have them rediscover everything the same way and still not really be clear about how any of the rules work.
That's because but they also changed all of it. So
to be clear,
all these psychics, and then we're like, psychics don't work that way, and you're like, what? I don't even know how the old ones worked.
To be clear though, every time I listen to the guy that made this game in an interview, he says shit that makes it clear he doesn't have a plan and doesn't know how half of his storylines work either.
You know what I learned?
As shown by the fact that he confirmed 100% that Alice was all ice and then just changed his mind.
I also learned that people don't remember the ending of 999.
No.
People keep telling me, every time I get in an argument with somebody, they keep telling me that Akane was able to get past the puzzle, the final puzzle, and create the death game to save herself because in a different timeline she was able to get through. And I have to explain, like, No, that's not how the puzzle works.
The only way she is able to survive is because Junpei saves her.
Yes, but
by solving the puzzle and transmitting the information back to the child version of her somehow.
But not only that, the puzzle that she has in front of her is not the same puzzle that we have in front of us.
Yeah, only Junpei has a solvable puzzle. That June is looking at like a blank screen.
Yeah, and so
Junpei has to solve the puzzle to give the information to June, so that June can then escape as a child, which then somehow explains how she's alive throughout the entire game already without you doing that.
Because
like she's preemptively in existence despite the fact that you haven't saved her.
Because it's a paradox, Keith, and that's okay.
To be fair, Andrew, they stuck with that paradox because they did it again.
Yeah.
Because in this game, June did it again.
Yeah.
The one where she's mysteriously not dead the whole time was because we were going to then later go back in time to stop her from dying in that particular timeline.
Yes.
Which is like,
she's that must be her Esper ability. Is to create paradoxes. She's a paradox Esper.
In a weird headache, yes, parts of this game are like that scene from Harry Potter where he saves himself.
Did Akane tell you?
In a manner of speaking. As I've already explained, the purpose of this project is to send Sigma and Phi's consciousnesses to the past.
You're all useless.
Espers are able to sort of resonate with one another, which can amplify their power. You understand? And this is why we brought you here, Clover.
Oh my God, he's saying that he displaced these people simply because they needed...
Clover's exclusively here to be our battery?
Yes.
Does that mean that Alice and Kay are also Espers, even though Alice doesn't know that? Because, like, how did they get Alice here? Or is Alice once again like
Lotus?
Like Lotus going to be here for no reason?
I think she's just here for no reason.
At least Lotus was in like, oh, I saw a vision that happened this way, but like, this is a fucking expensive trip to take Alice on.
Yeah.
Just to round out the number. Like, now there's 9 people. We did it. Welcome.
Wait, is that Akane? Was she just like...
you've been dressed like this for 45 years.
Was Akane just like being stubborn where she's like, I don't want a Nonary game without 9 people.
It's called a Nonary game.
Yeah, it's called a Nonary game.
The number's in the name.
Well, no, it's called the AB game.
Yeah, but it is a Nonary game.
AB edition.
But they do call it the Nonary game.
Or Ambidex Edition.
Yeah.
Sorry.
God, get it straight.
What about me?
Exactly.
Oh my God.
We needed your help, Alice, to deactivate Dio's bombs.
Fuck you.
What the fuck? No, we didn't. Because
no, we didn't.
She didn't find the control panel. What? She didn't remember any of the numbers, and she wasn't even there when we deactivated the bombs. The only thing that she said was, "Hey, you can plug in the device into the bomb." That was it.
What the fuck? That doesn't work as an explanation.
Are you telling me... Wait, are you seriously telling me...
Sigma deactivated the bombs because he knows all the codes from every timeline, and Dio has the thing that deactivates the bombs. Like, Alice didn't do anything vital.
Also, we could ask Dio how to deactivate the bombs since he knows about the bombs that he placed. So why did Alice have to be here?
This will be fun. This will be fun, Andrew. We get to grade the game. Because, like, we've been talking about, like... I've been complaining, like, how the fuck is every single one of these endings going to tie into the actual ending somehow?
Yeah.
To justify how bloated the game is. And they're doing it now. Like, this is the Alice ending, is that one time we sit on the bench and we say a number at her, and that's supposed to be apparently vital, and we could have not done this without that scene, apparently. And so we get to grade one by one as they explain each ending to us and why it mattered, whether or not it actually mattered.
Well, today, it's an F.
I didn't do anything.
Oh, but you did.
Let's hear their explanation.
In another history, you were able to perform a prime decomposition from the 25-digit integer that Dio left behind.
Is that what it was? The fucking number, that long string that Sigma like regurgitated?
But we didn't use that to deactivate a bomb.
Wait, what did we use that for?
Nothing.
What was that for?
I don't remember. I genuinely do not remember what that integer was.
It's almost like this game would be easier to remember if it was less bloated. You know, what was that for? Because, like, all we did was type in passwords that people just told us. When did that matter ever? Individual people told us there were bombs 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 0, and then we individually heard the passwords for 1, 2, 3, and 0.
But the numbers we put in to deactivate the bomb were never 25 digits.
No, they were never decoded. They just gave them to us.
Yeah.
We would just give each bomb one by one. Let's see if the next line explains it more.
You could do that sort of thing.
So?
Actually, no. Lotus could.
Mathematics, we were about out to determine that Dio had planted the bombs.
Wait. Hold on.
So the code literally just the only thing it did was reveal that Dio was the bomb planter? Because, like, that doesn't make Alice vital at all then, because there's tons of timelines where you find out that Dio planted the bombs.
Also,
he reveals it himself sometimes. So, like, just the existence of morphogenetic fields means we would have found that information out ourselves no matter what.
Also, you fucking assholes have security cameras in the entire game. You know.
No. That's not an accurate argument, Andrew. Because they knew this was all going to happen.
Yes.
The bombs are intentional.
Yes.
They want the bombs to be here because we, as the contestants, have to solve them in order to access morphogenetic fields and train ourselves.
Yes.
So, like, the cameras don't matter.
They do.
You're talking about the surveillance part that we got access to.
Yes.
Right, I forgot about that.
Not only did we get access to surveillance, Luna knows.
Yeah, also Luna knows that. Luna
makes this entire thing irrelevant because
she's commanded not to say anything because we have to morphogenetic field everything.
But the whole excuse is that Alice is good at math. Luna can be good at math. Yes. No one would question it.
They literally kidnapped. It's exactly as weak as Lotus being there so that she could type a password in once. In fact, it's actually the same thing.
Yeah, it is actually the same thing.
Lotus, the only thing she did in the entire game was to be in an escape room where she was like, chicka, 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 I know Linux. It's a Unix system, I know this. And then she just like typed it all in and solved a puzzle for us once.
I'm finding out a very interesting pattern. Brown-skinned girls in Zero Escape are useless.
There isn't one in the next game.
Yeah, there is.
Is there?
The one with the open shirt, isn't she?
No.
Oh, I thought she was.
No, she's clearly just like a country girl looking character.
I thought she had darker skin.
No, there's no. Yeah, twice in a row, they had a dark-skinned girl who is here to nothing. Like they're
is here to nothing.
Yeah, they're specifically not an Esper in a game full of Espers.
Yeah.
And they don't have an explanation for why they're there. And all they do is know computers for a second once in the entire timeline. And that justifies dressing them up like that and killing them 50 times and like incorporating them into a story. Like they could have come up with anything more interesting, but they didn't.
At least Alice isn't a mother.
Yes, they
literally killed a mother of 2 children multiple times in 999.
Oh, yeah, they kept killing Lotus over and over again. Who has children to go back to who are not in the Nonary game. She's not even saving them.
No.
She's doing this on behalf of Akane, who she doesn't give a shit about.
And doesn't know.
Yeah, she doesn't. And also in the timeline. In the true ending timeline of 999, Lotus still doesn't even understand what they did.
Yeah.
By the end of 999, she doesn't even know why the Nonary game happened because nobody explained the Akane situation to her.
Yes.
So she was just in a death game where in at least like 2 or 3 dimensions or whatever, she never got to go home to her children because she was murdered in Nevada. And her children grow up as orphans.
And at the end of it,
and all that she did by being there was solve one puzzle in a room. Which, by the way, those rooms are not involved in the actual in saving Akane.
Yeah.
Nothing about solving those rooms is required to save Akane.
Well, remember, it's all about the morphogenetic fields.
Even if it's about morphogenetic field training, you could remove that one puzzle and it wouldn't matter. That's not the crucial puzzle.
Yeah.
It didn't do anything. Especially since Junpei doesn't get involved in that puzzle in any way and never uses that information anywhere else.
Yes.
She just goes click-a-clack, click-a-clack, I did it, and then you move on. And that's the only puzzle she solves, and it's the only part she has to play in the role of the story besides being kidnapped by Ace, I guess.
She also had to sit in the chair.
Which, by the way, they damsel the fuck out of these girls.
Oh yeah, they do.
They give us a minority character who's here to do nothing in the story, get damseled at some point, and then also still be clueless by the end of the game and not do anything ever. Because like Lotus solves one puzzle, is ripped away from her children, dies in most timelines, and eventually gets kidnapped by Ace so that we can chase after them, so that Ace can then trade to then kidnap Akane or something. I think he trades hostages. And in this one, they give us Lotus, who's not an Esper, and she has no connection to the puzzles. She just happens to know Clover, but who cares? They could have come up with any other reason to get a 9th person. And then she's dead most of the game.
Yeah.
By the way, this is a 9-character game where one character is unconscious almost the entire time because of Radical 6, and the other one is dead most of the time.
Yes.
Taking us down to like 7. Like that's...
Yeah.
What the fuck? They couldn't come up with more.
And technically, it's technically even less because Tenmyoji is so wrapped up in keeping track of, in focusing on Quark, that he doesn't appear in the majority of stuff we do because he's always staying with Quark.
Yeah.
So like,
and so many characters are dead or unconscious or off camera for so much of the playthrough that we like don't even meet most of them.
Yeah, we don't really actually get to know them that well.
Like, I feel like by the time you play, like, Doors 4 and 5, basically, you've already met, like, most of the cast of 999, except for Ace, basically. And that's because Ace...
That's on purpose.
Yeah, because Ace, you're setting up the reveal that he's actually Mr. Bad Guy. But even Ace is super prominent in all of the Between Rooms conversations.
But you know what?
Because they're trying to hype him up as being the likable character so that he can be the evil man.
What's even more impressive is that
because Ace was boss man until we realized he was the worst man.
Ace was boss, and then he was not.
Which was because Ace was Dio.
Yeah.
Because Dio was, let's say, they're like, oh yeah, Dio's pretty alright. Oh, Dio sucks. Oh, Dio's the villain.
Yeah.
But not really the villain, he's the pseudo-villain, because this villain is an off-screen disease.
The thing that's even more confusing is that, like, Ace did the same thing Quark did, which was like, I'm unconscious, I'm not going to be available, but he did it for a room.
Yeah, one room.
And that wasn't
he wasn't even unavailable for the plot. He literally just made himself go unconscious to make a specific outcome happen in one decision.
Yes.
And then he was conscious again the moment we left that room.
Yes.
So he was exactly as gone as everybody who's not in a room with you always is.
Exactly.
It's like, great.
Did you forget how to write between games?
Not between games. I mean, we still don't know what the fuck happened to Captain.
He's Schrodinger's cat.
Captain is a thing that fucking even the Reddit for this game can't reconcile. Like, I've looked up threads about 999 just to explain what happened to Captain.
Yeah.
And the timelines where you didn't go that way with Ace. And people cannot come up with a consistent explanation or agree with each other ever.
I think I saw somebody like wildly assume that it was like Clover went and killed him. And I was like, why would Clover do that? And if she remembers Captain, why doesn't she remember Ace? Who was like he was the one that literally grabbed a girl and threw her into an incinerator. Like, how do you not remember that? Like,
yeah, Clover somehow doesn't recognize the other 3 contestants in the game that, 2, that are both, because like also
yeah, she doesn't recognize 9.
Yeah, I almost said the other guy, but nobody sees him besides Ace, who doesn't see him, basically. That really got you. You know, the guy who Ace throws in to die, and then he has like 30 seconds to die, and at no point does he say anything with the voice that Ace recognized because they're coworkers.
Just imagine that is like the best way to get out of any kind of situation where it's like, what did you see? I didn't see anything. I have face blindness. I don't know what happened. Sure. Just a guy walked in and did something.
It was really polite and convenient of not Snake to just not do any actions that would reveal him as not being Snake.
It is weird that you wouldn't say, hey boss, why are you throwing me into the fucking room? Like,
yeah, it's up there with 9 being like, it was him! He lied to me! Like they're talking about Tidus from Final Fantasy X too, where they can't say his name because it was a name because you could name him in the first game.
Yeah.
So they have to the voice acting can't say Tidus's name, so they keep going, him! It's him!
It is really weird that even 9, like, in a state
doesn't out him.
Like, even in a state of panic, you would still, like, point. You would go, like, him.
Doesn't even just say his name.
Yeah.
Just say his real name that we don't know yet, so at least then when we find out his name, you're like, oh shit, that's Ace.
No, because he
doesn't even say that.
Because if he said the real name, there would be, like, 3 people who would go, like, oh. like 3 people would turn their heads into, like...
Alright, let's find out how Alice saved us with Matt.
Sorry.
We were able to question him and get the password for the number 31.
The fuck are you talking about?
Bullshit. We knew he was the villain from tons of timelines.
We used that information to stop the bomb in this timeline.
No, you...
Without your help, Alice, we would have been reduced to nothing more than so much space dust.
But no, because...
I'll remind you, by the way, that Kay is the worst person to explain the importance of Alice, because Kay doesn't know what all the timelines are.
Yeah.
Presumably.
Also, I want to point out that, again, Akane knew. So that means that fucking Luna knows.
Yeah.
Like, this is all irrelevant when you have a person who can see into the future.
Ultimately, they kidnapped an entire person just to do math. When they could have just had, like, a machine that does that, or, like, let Luna do it. Like,
God.
oh, that's this number.
I'm so sorry that.
Are they worried that everyone would be like, oh my god, Luna's an android because he solved that? I'm like, we didn't accuse Alice of being an android for doing exactly that.
Yeah.
It's also math that anyone could know.
That's like.
It's not even like a secret code. It's like, oh my god, this is I know this secret CIA code. It's like, no, it's math.
Yeah, it's just regular math. You could have kidnapped anybody. Why would you kidnap?
Exists because of your presence.
No.
No, it doesn't.
Now, let me explain why we needed Tenmyoji and Quark.
Jumpy. Let's call him Jumpy. Come on.
Okay.
Tenmyoji is simple. We needed you for the same reason we needed Clover. You are able to access the fourth dimension.
But
almost half a century ago,
but isn't
you used that ability to save a young girl, didn't you?
But he's the sender. He's like, isn't he a sender and receiver? So wouldn't he get in the way of?
He was able to send himself.
Yeah.
I don't know. They added this rule. They can't make up their minds actually
Because they made some rule that like
specifically established that a bunch of Espers around each other, the strong one like overrides all the other ones.
Yeah. So you're telling me that?
And they did not expect Tenmyoji to be the strong one because he was like the chosen one of the entire previous game, basically.
Not only that, but he's
going to be subservient and be like a battery for other people in this game.
But technically, he's even stronger than Sigma because even though Sigma
but also, if people absorb the power of everybody around them, if they're stronger, why are there 2 Espers in this game that work?
Yeah. Wait, how does that work? Do they nullify each other, or
like, I'm not trying to be petty here. I'm literally just saying the rules they're saying in the game and trying to reconcile them with each other and what's happening in the game, and it's not working.
But like to some capacity, I would feel like Tenmyoji would be just as equally strong. He communicated to a child in the past, which is more.
And somebody in chat was like, "That's your fault for believing Clover that knows anything about anything." I'm like, Clover's the most trained Esper in the history of the franchise, according to the narrative.
Also,
she's the only trained Esper in the narrative, because every other Esper, after they do one Esper feat, vanishes from the story.
Also, Junpei didn't even know he was an Esper. Clover did.
Yeah,
she was
Clover
part of
knew she was from the previous one, then had it in the next game, and had it in this game, and had training. Yet, despite all the constant espering she does, she's not the strong one.
Do you know who's also good at math, Keith? Fucking Snake. You know who's also an Esper? Fucking Snake. Why won't you bring more Espers?
Why doesn't Snake? Yeah, why wouldn't you bring Snake here? Which we haven't heard we haven't heard about him being dead or missing or anything. Why did they bring Snake here instead of Alice? Like, Clover and Snake are both known characters from the other game, so like we're more invested in the story because oh shit, it's Snake, the guy we spent all of last game saving.
But also Snake is a smart, capable person, and he's an Esper, which means it's just more batteries. Why wouldn't you just bring...
remembering they can't handle 9 characters, can they?
No,
because the first game kills 9 immediately and then very quickly removes Snake from the game.
Yeah.
And this game does the same thing more or less with Alice and Quark in most timelines. Like, they can't handle 9 people. They have to quickly take it down to 7 by removing exactly 2 of them.
And the funniest part is they still can't handle 7.
No, they can't. But they refuse to handle 9. They didn't kill somebody this time, but still, it's like, it's weird.
Well, they did. Alice died.
Yeah, but they don't keep them dead.
No.
She dies earlier than other people in most timelines, but not dead forever.
Not dead.
Yeah, because 9 did nothing.
9 did no. Well, that's not true.
No.
He proved to us that
something fishy's happening.
That he had a bomb in him.
Yeah, 9. Yeah, 9's entire role in the story is to be Slipknot from Suicide Squad. That's Slipknot, the guy that can climb anything. Boom.
He can't climb out of a bomb.
Now that we verified that exploding collars are in this movie, let's never use them again.
Yeah.
Just like 9. Actually, no, his coworker died too. But we found out they were the only ones that had them. And then,
but remember, his coworker actually wasn't part of our group. We just thought he was.
Another person.
So once we find out that he wasn't Snake, then it makes it even more obvious.
The game had like 11 people in it.
Oh yeah,
but 2 of them weren't even contestants. That's what's really fucked up. They were just thrown in to die.
2 of them weren't contestants, but they had bracelets and bombs in them.
They were contrived into suicide situations where you're just forced to die no matter what.
Wait, I just realized.
Really fucked up. How
did you put Captain into a room?
Probably just drugged him.
But so his bracelet didn't activate?
I guess, or it was fake.
But it wasn't fake.
I don't know. It's kind of noise.
But wait, did he not have a bomb in him then? What is Captain? Captain is literally the biggest mistake of 999 I've ever seen, because there's nothing you can do about him. You can't be explained.
Also, a young girl. Why are we all pretending that Kay and Temioji don't know who the young girl is?
Why are we also pretending that Clover doesn't know who the young girl is, because she was fucking there?
God, this game would have been better with Snake in it.
Yes.
But they wanted another boob lady. That's what they wanted, right? They wanted a boob lady in the game. They want a girl that wears a golden circle for a shirt.
They had like way more female characters this time around. So why did they even need a boob lady? They had Luna and Phi and Clover. And Clover's clearly the backup boob lady.
Yeah,
I mean...
we did. We needed you to resonate with Sigma and Phi. So we brought you here.
I mean, you could also...
It was a messenger.
Do you want to see Akane? If you do, come with me. I was a fool and fell for it.
Well, no, she's here.
You brought Quark with you. In fact, you insisted that he come.
Yeah, I know.
So Quark's also here for no reason.
Well, Quark's here because of bad parenting.
She's not, like, Quark has absolutely nothing to do with the planet itself.
Yeah, he is not an Esper.
So he's not here to serve a purpose. Yeah, he's not an Esper. He doesn't have any skills.
He's just like a tag along because his dad is kind of important.
Yeah, they just made up Junpei,
which makes sense as to why they knocked him out for the whole thing, because he
sucks.
Yeah, because he sucks. He has no purpose. There's nothing to develop, and he has nothing to contribute except for the fact that root beer floats exist in the future.
Seriously, what the fuck's going on in his story? I want to know.
God,
like he paints this portrait of the outside world. And I'm like, wait, explain.
I guess you were worried about leaving me alone, huh? He kept saying he couldn't run off to the moon and leave me behind.
What the? Wait, you knew we were on the moon?
Yeah, did you know?
Wait,
sorry, Quark.
How does a kid not say they're on the moon?
Stupid and selfish. None of this would have happened to you. I never thought this would happen. Can you ever forgive me?
Oh, don't worry about it. I mean, I agreed to come with you.
Also, how many kids get to go to the moon?
Interesting than boring old Earth.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, all the grandpa stuff was just a lie.
Yeah.
They're never related.
What kid would turn that down?
I mean, that's a fair point.
We didn't see the messenger after we got on the ship.
You trying to say something?
I was trying to say, what was the threat? I don't remember what the threat was. Like, how did you keep Quark quiet? Because, I mean, I know kids, and there's no way a child wouldn't, like, instinctively try to, like, high jump.
Constantly reveal information.
Yeah, like, why wouldn't Quark high jump? You're like, what, maybe 10 years old? And
yeah, why isn't he jumping around constantly in the low grav?
How would you not just have a fucking field day?
Yeah.
You're a kid on the moon.
Almost nothing about the low gravity Radical 6 explanation actually, like, seals of the leaks that they think they're sealing.
Also, I swear to God,
it's a mess.
If there's not an explanation,
like, congratulations, if you drop something, it looks like it drops at normal speed. Wait. And that's the only part of this explanation that works. By the way, your perception of time doesn't affect how heavy you feel.
Also, I want to point out that
you would notice feeling 1/6 your normal weight.
I also want to
think about speed affects that.
I want to point out that Quark was infected with Radical 6.
Radical 6.
Radical 6. And he didn't slip up and reveal they were on the moon?
Apparently.
How would you not? Wouldn't you say, like, we gotta get out of here, we're not even on Earth?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you paranoidly, like, shout that you're not on Earth?
Of the 9 characters, at least 3, 4? At least 3 or 4 characters know we're on the moon. Mm-hmm. Out of 9. Like, that's actually a really significant number of people that knew the whole time that we were on the moon.
Yeah, wait, does Dio know he's on the moon?
Yes.
He does?
He'd have to.
What if he doesn't? What if he woke up on the building and thought he was on Earth on a building?
No, because Dio broke in now, didn't he?
Well, yeah, but how do you...
Like, Dio didn't, like, break into the original facility while they were recruiting everyone, get knocked out, get brought in like everybody else. Like, otherwise he would have been woken up like everybody else in those random spots. They specifically set it up so he thinks he's successfully breaking in. Like, they're allowing him to come in through the door. That means he somehow came to the moon himself,
yeah.
presumably?
How?
Which means that also Dio knows we're on the moon.
What? What?
So that means at least 4 characters.
But then how did Dio get...
Out of 9 people, at least half of us knew we were on the moon the whole time.
Yeah, but Dio is infected with Radical 6. How did that happen? Is it an airborne agent?
Is it the moment he got on the base?
Does that mean Akane has Radical 6?
I'd almost think so if we're all speaking at the same speed. Like she might have infected herself.
She infected herself?
I guess,
knowing full well that...
she'll die?
She would... what? Jesus.
There's a lot to unpack here.
Okay, well, let's keep going.
Which is why we're talking so much, which people will complain about, but like that just means we're engaged in the story and talking about it.
Yeah, we're trying to put our 100% into this story, but it's like we can
remember the comments that were like, Andrew's here with you. You're not going to pay any attention. You're just going to talk over the story and press A a lot. And I'm like, no, we are fucking good. We're in on this shit. We're going to go into every fucking detail and pay all the attention.
I just want to know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to be cynical. I'm trying to piece together the rationality here. Like, yeah, if Dio...
Like, I take jabs here and there, but a lot of the stuff I'm saying is genuinely me trying to even understand the story.
I just don't get why Akane would know the future, infect herself personally with Radical 6, only to die. Like, why would she even expose herself to a situation with Radical 6?
Because her goal is to undo that timeline, even though I still can't tell if that undoes timelines or she dies anyway, but she'll just know in her heart that in some other timeline, Earth lives, I guess.
But why would you even need to do that? Like, you could set this up so Akane doesn't have to die. You could have set this entire game up where Dio breaks in, finds an area with, like, a 1 remaining watch of 9, and he just puts it on to pretend like he's part of the game.
You could
and
even
then goes
kidnap Dio like everybody else, put him in the game. Like he's trying to break in, but then you catch him and you put him in the game. But then when he wakes up, he's like, "Oh fuck, I'm in the game. Oh, they didn't find my bombs."
Yeah,
and
or
then
that.
And then he goes and plants the bombs anyway.
Like, there's so many ways to do this besides killing yourself. Like, why does Akane have to be so suicidal in everything she does? It's kind of alarming.
How early in the playthrough did I guess that was Akane? That was really early, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
I remember it being really early.
I'm still waiting for mine.
Because weird female character was dead that looked vaguely like Akane, and I'm just like, no, that's just Akane, isn't it?
But see, it's all of our guesses are invalid because we had wrong guesses.
If you're ever wrong about anything, that means everything you're right about also is wrong.
Yes.
Doesn't count.
It was on autopilot. As soon as we got in, it headed straight for the moon.
Why would there be someone there? What do you think? Is this Disneyland?
What's the guess you're talking about? Still waiting? You're talking about old? Are you talking about old Sigma?
Huh?
Is that the guess you're talking about?
The guess.
You said you're still waiting for yours.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for old Sigma.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, I will be devastated.
I mean, it could. They're setting up something with Sigma.
But I have nothing else. I have no other guesses.
Yeah, because you've been wrong about most things.
I was only right about not being on Earth. That's it.
You were wrong about where we were.
I want to get something else.
You've gotten almost nothing else right. I mean, you could be right about something with Sigma, just because they're setting something up. Something's wrong with Sigma on some level.
Well, he has robot arms.
Yeah, first of all, he has robot arms, but aside from that, we've never seen his face.
Or heard his voice.
We've always seen...
Remember, Junpei, we heard his voice all the time, but there's a reason.
We saw Sigma's face and Gooch, like, all the way back in the prologue.
Gooch?
Yeah, they show us, like, crotch shot of Sigma, and that's the only time we ever see Sigma.
Yeah.
In that one camera angle of him being kidnapped in the past. But we don't know anything about what current Sigma looks like, to the point where, like, literally, when they're looking at the scorecard and it's just Sigma and Phi, it just shows a picture of Phi and nobody else.
Our face never shows up in that rotation, by the way.
Sigma's appearance only shows up when he's grabbing people or they're looking at his pecs or whatever. Like, his face has never been on camera.
No, but his body is always there.
The only other thing we have ever gotten is the save screen, which... That's not what I thought Sigma looked like, by the way.
No, that's not either.
Like, that face looks different from the other Sigma we got. Like, the one from the prologue. That doesn't look like a good rendition of that character in 3D, even though everyone else looks fine.
Well, that's because everyone else is taken from a 3D model that we see all the time, but we never see Sigma, so we have no idea if that even is Sigma, because we only have a drawing to go off of.
Sigma looks odd. He also looks like Tenmyoji a lot.
Yeah, he looks a lot like Tenmyoji. He looks
so
like
much
Junpei.
like Tenmyoji. Well, that's the first thing I said, remember, was I was like, hey, look, it's older Junpei.
Yeah.
Which then people were like, oh! because the character on the screen was older Junpei. But I thought Sigma like, look, it's older Junpei because he looks like older Junpei.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Sigma. The problem with Sigma is that we know so little about him that they could do basically anything with him.
They could, yeah.
So like, with a twist.
I mean, you could be the twist of him being a clone is possible that the K is actually Sigma and this is just clone Sigma.
Yeah, like we could have been watching K get kidnapped in that prologue.
We have no idea because
Sigma
we also
can almost be a different character somehow.
But that's the thing. Remember, Sigma said he was like, "That's my face" when he looked at K. So
the problem is, yeah, this game has robots and clones, and it has time travel, and it has amnesia, and time perception drugs.
Is
like
amnesia a benefit?
Amnesia. It means that all these things stack together to mean that like we literally can't even trust Sigma's own accounting of what he thinks reality is.
Yeah.
And we've never seen him, and we don't know anything about him. So at this point, the game could literally say anything about him as a plot twist, and be like, oh, crazy. Like, it's not gonna be like, whoa, now it all makes sense, because like Sigma's nothing.
Yeah.
Despite the fact we're playing as him the whole time. All we know is he's pervy and he has robot arms. That's like his two traits.
He's a pervert cyborg. He's great. That's all we've got.
He's a rude pervert.
He's
like,
he's a rude pervert.
Like, should we put the lever this way or that way? It's like, I don't know, Mrs. A Cup. It's like, what the fuck,
what
Sigma?
the fuck? Sexual harassment.
Remember that conversation?
Yeah.
She's just like sexually, straight up like HR conversations.
He is a rude, perverted cyborg with a photographic memory and the ability to time travel.
Yeah. But his personality or history are all question mark.
He's apparently a PhD student or almost going. Wait, how does that work? Is he dropped out of college?
He's not a PhD.
He was a student.
I mean, now he's dropped out.
Yeah, like
he got kicked out.
Is he technically a dropout?
He's been kidnapped out of it. Yeah.
That's kind of unfortunate. And what about his school loans? I guess he doesn't have to pay him back.
No, because they're all dead.
During the trip, Zero told me to keep quiet once we got there. I don't remember anything after we landed.
Who is Zero in this context?
There was a bunch of that white smoke, and we passed out.
I mean, we don't know is the problem.
Oh wait, is the white smoke Radical 6?
No, I think the white smoke just be the knockout just smoke like the first game. Because that was in the first game too.
Yeah.
Here's the problem with how fucking pedantic and infuriating every character in this game is. When Tenmyoji says that Zero told me not to talk, he could literally be talking about himself, and it would still be true technically. And then he'd be like, technically I didn't say it wasn't me that was Zero. Like they've literally done in this game over and over again.
Yeah.
So like, we can't even be like, oh shit, Tenmyoji's talking about meeting Zero. He must not be Zero. Bam, cut him off the list. Who else could be Zero? It's not June. It's apparently not June. Like, cut them off the list. Surely it's not Alice, right? Cut them off the list, and you keep doing process elimination until you get to like down to something. But we can't actually eliminate Tenmyoji because he's such a fucking asshole that he could be talking about himself.
Yeah.
Who do you think Zero is right now?
K.
K. K.
Which is why he has amnesia, because it was like medically induced amnesia, so that way he wouldn't. It's like it's basically a game Amnesia, where the person gives himself amnesia so that way he can solve the problem without having any predisposition to it.
Yeah. Let's see.
Because K's sitting here giving us the goddamn spiel like he's reading the script.
Female character is Zero.
No, or Akane.
Out of all the female characters, it would have to be either Akane or Phi.
No, Phi doesn't know anything.
Out of all the male characters, it can't be Dio. It can't be
Dio, it can't be Quark, it can't be Junpei. Or not Junpei, Sigma. And
Sigma.
How? Oh right, we saw a picture of Zero, right?
Yeah. But it was old guy, I think.
Well, that wasn't Tenmyoji, obviously.
It's hard to judge who he was. Yeah, we know what Tenmyoji. We know that Zero is not Junpei.
Okay,
because now we know Tenmyoji is Junpei.
Stop doing that.
And we know that guy did not look like Tenmyoji.
Yeah, it could be K, because we don't know what K looks like, and that could be K.
We know what K looks like.
Well, I'm saying we don't know. Like, we don't know if that message is like K in the future, or because K could be a clone of himself, a younger version of.
The problem is all appearances we'd say about K could be equally applicable to us.
I'm just gonna assume it's Junpei then, because Junpei's the only one we haven't seen.
You mean Sigma?
Or Sigma. Sorry. God
I'm like Junpei's Tenmyoji.
Well, because
I know it's confusing because
now we have two fucking main characters.
4 names in these games.
We have two main characters that have the same premise who interact with Akane to save Akane, and it's like, just stop.
Do you think Sigma and K even look like each other? Like if they're the same
right
age,
now?
at the same age, I mean.
Oh, if they're the same age?
Like if Sigma's older, like when Sigma was, like, do you think that flashback of that high school kidnapping, I mean college kidnapping, do you think that even was us, or do you think that was just K?
I don't know.
Not even us.
It could be K.
Do you think it's an implanted memory?
It might be, or it could just be.
Because K is somebody that was apparently raised by them.
Yeah, which makes because that would be confused.
Why would they be raising a clone of us?
Wait, who was the other person Young raised by, though? It clearly wasn't Junpei. He was raised by Akane and a scientist.
Do you think we cloned ourselves?
That would be arrogant.
And raised a clone of ourselves with Akane?
No, that would be like the most arrogant bullshit I've ever seen. Like, you created a clone of yourself to take part in a game that you started, so that way it could explain the plot.
To go with
us, so it could explain the plot us.
What if not only we're Zero, we're also Santa? What if we're Zero and Santa?
If we are fucking Santa, I might actually just like, I don't know. I think I would actually I think I would just give up ever watching.
I think that K is a very valid guess for who Zero is, but I think the rule of plot twist deems that we must be Zero.
You think that Sigma is Zero?
I think Sigma might be Zero because there's no other characters left that are good candidates besides K. But K is literally in a mask with amnesia the entire game.
Yeah.
And it's fucking stupid and obvious.
I mean, I agree.
I mean, it's actually going to be kind of stupid no matter what.
I agree with you.
It's so obvious that K could be Zero.
Yeah.
And everyone accuses him of being Zero, like, immediately in the game itself.
That's true. That I forgot about that. People accusing him. So it's clearly not K. So it is Sigma. So Sigma's like the only
character that can be, mainly because the main reason I think this is because Junpei has been removed from the candidate list, more or less. Yeah. Unless, once again, Tenmyoji's gonna be like, oh, I didn't say I wasn't Zero.
I would punch you.
He's just being like really annoying right now, which, boy, does Tenmyoji hurt parts of my opinion of Junpei at times. Yeah. When he does stuff like that. It might be Zero. Yeah, we literally might be somebody who created this entire experiment where we wipe our own memories.
How did we can...
Oh, fuck. It's Prey.
God.
It's Prey.
Damn it.
This game is Prey. Where we're playing a protagonist that wipes their own memories on purpose for experimental purposes.
No.
In order to do something.
It's worse.
Except in their case, they were doing it to, like, make a product. And in our case, we're doing it to save the world, presumably.
It's worse than that.
But I don't know where Phi came from.
It's worse
Is
than
Phi
that.
our gender bent clone?
What? God. That's kind of weird. Were we sexually coming onto ourselves? It's worse than that. You know how it works? If Sigma is the stupid motherfucking Zero, the reason it works is because Sigma took over the memory of old Sigma. Like, young Sigma took over the memory of old Sigma, so old Sigma doesn't know or isn't there to say that he's Zero.
So, like, everybody else has been frozen from the past.
Yes. Except...
You're saying that everyone's been frozen from the past except us who just lived through it, but then we, like, leapfrogged our young mind into our old bodies.
Yes.
To override all of our knowledge.
So we override all of our knowledge, but because we don't know what we look like, when we see a picture of Zero, we're just like, that old man looks crazy, and we don't know it's fucking us.
Which bothers me, because I feel like you'd recognize yourself as an old person.
I feel like there's enough metal stuff you would notice your reflection, but that's beside the point.
I just think, there's a lot of reflective surfaces in this game, I'm pretty sure, and also people comment on people's appearances constantly in Zero Escape games to a point of being offensive. Yeah. And nobody ever says what we look like except that one throw-off line that you really latched on to.
Yeah, except for Dio, who was like, shut up, old man. And I'm like, what the fucking... That's rude. Also, that's a weird thing to say. Why would you call someone an old man? Tenmyoji you call an old man, but that's because we know Tenmyoji looks old. So if Dio clearly doesn't use it as like a casual insult. It's not like he called K an old man. He never calls Quark an old man. Like, he only called Tenmyoji that.
The problem with twists is that, like, once you have time travel and clones and robots and cyborg parts and amnesia all in the same storyline with people that are masked, there's like, you can just do whatever you want at that point and anything could happen. And so it's like,
I'm a god of conveniences.
The
you can't
world
touch
is
me.
your oyster.
I'm gonna be.
And when I woke up, I was in the AB room.
Oops. That's called kidnapping.
Now, Dio. His real name is Left, and he's the leader of a terrorist organization called the Myrmidons.
Chotto mate.
Left is a terrible name, by the way.
Also, he's the leader? Oh no, Brother's the leader. Wait, who's the leader?
I'm confused about that too, because Dio said.
Oh no, Brother is the leader of the Free the whatever.
Yeah, Brother's the leader of Free the Soul.
And then Left is the leader of the Myrmidons.
Left, what's confusing is that Left talked about the fact that he's apparently like some kind of outcast that has to redeem himself.
Yes.
And yet he's the leader of the Myrmidons. Does that mean the entirety of the Myrmidons is currently like on the stank? like they're not psyched about the entire organization?
I mean, in theory, they might be dead.
Like, is the entirety of Free the Soul mad at the entirety of the Myrmidons because Left did something?
I don't know.
Because like, the idea of him having to redeem himself to his group, but he's the leader of his subgroup of the group is like, wait, what?
Also, does that mean that Brother...
Why can't he just be a random Myrmidon?
Wait.
Why does he have to be the leader?
Does that mean Brother's disappointed in himself?
I don't know.
Because aren't all the Myrmidons just clones of him?
Yes, every Myrmidon is specifically a clone of Brother, which is even more confusing.
What does it feel like to be disappointed in
I don't
yourself?
know. I'm still hoping it'll be Snake just to tie shit together at all.
That would be hilarious.
Also, I'm just annoyed at... I'm probably just annoyed at the idea of leaving Snake behind in the story entirely.
Yeah,
But
Snake...
also Seven, I guess.
Snake, well...
Poor Seven.
Yeah, but Seven, again, has no real value because he's just a regular...
No,
he's like a regular beat cop. But, like, Seven has so much potential to be an interesting character and dynamic to this whole thing.
He's just more likable than all of them.
Well, he's also more likable than all of them. Yeah, that's for sure.
He was ordered to come here.
I think a lot of the series boils down to the fact that, like, in 999 we spent less time with more likable characters.
Yes.
And that has some impact on the difference of opinion between the two games, where in this game we're spending more time with much less likable characters.
Like, I miss Ace, because at least Ace was interesting.
We liked most... We were... Cool,
like, Dio's such a boring...
We were cool to neutral with most of the characters in 999 until June started saying really dumb things.
Yeah, until she started being, like,
then
really...
Then started going, oh no, she's the love interest?
Well, she was being, like, really bigoted towards us. Because, like, we... That's
not the right word.
Well, she was, because she...
It's not the right word, though.
Oh, yeah, it is. She was a bigot to people who were,
who think?
who are, like, who have common sense.
The Myrmidons are under the control of an organization called Free the Soul,
Man.
which is in turn controlled by a man known as Brother.
I really wish we...
buckle up, Andrew, to hear every gold file right now.
I was going to say, I really wish we didn't read those gold files.
The release of Radical 6 into the general population 45 years ago.
Wait, what?
These aren't gold files. We already went through all this information in the past. So wait, so Brother did... Wait, Brother released Radical 6.
Brother released Radical 6?
So Free the Soul literally released Radical 6.
And then sent Dio to do what?
I guess he sent Dio to stop the one plan to go back in time and fix it.
How did they know? How did he know the plan was to go back in time?
45 years later.
How do you even know that? Or wait,
let's see if they explain it. Maybe it was Snake.
Wow, what a spiteful thing. Snake's just like, fine, Clover, if you're gonna leave, I'm gonna destroy Earth.
Because he still looks vaguely like Snake and dresses a lot like Snake, even though that was not his real costume, because that was Zero putting people in costumes in 999.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember what Phi mentioned earlier? The ultimate purpose of the AB project is to change history and keep Radical 6 from being released. If we succeed, that would be bad for Brother and his organization.
Well, because they would continue to exist being alive.
Yeah, wait. Okay.
Our success would prevent them from creating the ideal world they're working toward.
But it...
Aren't they trying to destroy everything?
Yeah.
Basically.
I mean, can't they just kill themselves and then that will be fine? Isn't that the whole point?
Maybe they don't want to wipe out literally all of humanity, but wipe out so much of it that like a new society can grow from scratch.
That's not how
Radical 6 apparently works because it's fucking dangerous.
But isn't Radical 6 in the air now? Are you going to give everyone a cure?
They might be trying to Mad Max everyone and then come back from that.
Oh, okay.
Because there are some people that are like, you know, our current world has so many deep-seated problems that will never go away that you have to like press a reset button and destroy all governments in order to start from scratch because you can't transition to something better.
I mean,
is like a point people make.
Yeah, I agree.
I do want to read the Free the Soul file again, though.
I mean, I do agree that keeping cats as a pet is a stupid idea, but I don't think like killing humanity for it is worth it.
Axel Levere times 2.
What the fuck is this? I don't want a picture of Axel Levere. I don't even own that Axel Levere. We gave it to 2 people.
Oh, they were secrets, right? I want to read the Free the Soul explanation again. What the fuck their goal was exactly.
Oh,
how did I lose that?
Wow, controllers are so great. Go ahead and read that.
I'm looking for the rule exactly. Free themselves of lust, release their souls from their physical bodies so they can be purified. Okay, so they just want to kill everybody. They believe that if they kill themselves and everybody, that they will literally be reborn as a new race. So it's like, we're talking like, this isn't even metaphorical drink the Kool-Aid, this is literal drink the Kool-Aid.
Well, no, it's like...
These are the people that think that they're going to like drink the poisoned Kool-Aid and then fly, their souls are going to fly to the comet and be reborn. Like, that's the original, we know the drink the Kool-Aid's from, right?
Yeah.
The suicide cult that thought that they thought that because of the religion.
You mean Jamestown?
Was it Jamestown?
Yeah, it was.
It was like a...
Jamestown was the one who created that giant cult on an island, and
it
then
was like
everybody
kind of Scientology, but kind of not.
Yeah.
Where they thought that if they killed themselves with by drinking the poisoned Kool-Aid, that they would apparently catch a ride on some comet with their souls or something like that. That's basically Free the Soul.
No,
the Free the Soul is kill everybody, period, so that they can be reborn as a new race.
Yeah, so why don't they just kill themselves and they can be reborn when that comet hits Earth?
Because they apparently need to make sure that everyone dies.
But but a comet has to hit Earth, which would kill everybody on Earth.
What? What does a comet have to do with anything?
You said they catch a ride on a comet.
No, I'm talking about the Kool-Aid.
Oh.
They thought their souls were going to go onto like some comet. That's why they had to do it that day.
Ah.
They were catching a ride on a comet with their souls, supposedly. Maybe they did. I don't know. But no, in this,
where'd it go?
Free the Soul, there's no comet. They just literally think everyone needs to die so they can be reborn as a new race, which I don't know how the fuck they even came up with that idea.
Wait, so does that mean
somebody was just writing random shit and just went with it?
Does that mean Dio's not allowed to become reborn?
No, he's gonna die after everyone else is dead. He just needs to finish killing everybody.
So wait, that means the Free the Soul people aren't dead yet?
They might. No, they can't be because there's clearly people alive down on Earth with Quark and everyone. I don't know how the fuck. I don't know.
I don't know enough about Earth.
Radical 6 isn't as effective as... yeah, that's the problem. Is we don't know how much of Earth is left still.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll tell us.
That is why Brothers sent left his trusted lieutenant to this facility.
He's a lieutenant, or is he like the leader? A lieutenant isn't a leader.
He's his lieutenant, but his lieutenant is the leader of the Myrmidons. But he's the lieutenant of Free the Soul.
Why wouldn't you just make him... Wait, he's a lieutenant of Free the Soul?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he just be the second in command?
That's kind of the same thing, but also they said... But I don't understand the previous lines about him being supposedly outcasted if he's the trusted lieutenant.
They needed to stop the AB project. So, Dio was given 2 tasks. The first was to eliminate Akane, the architect of the AB project.
Who can see into the future.
Was to join the AB game and win it. If Dio won the game, the AB project would not be completed. At least, not in that timeline. In other words, in that world, the project would have been stopped.
But
okay, so they are saying it's a multiverse then, right?
Yeah.
That's very clear.
Yes.
So that does make Akane a murderer that killed Lotus in several timelines and made her children orphans. Just so we're clear. Just so we're nice and clear. Akane orphaned children in so many timelines.
For herself.
So that she could live in one timeline. That's just so we're clear. She's the hero of this story, supposedly, and she literally made people orphans in like 4 timelines so that she could survive in one timeline. A completely selfish act.
You know, I don't get to say this often or ever, but like, Akane is actually worse than Hitler.
No.
Because Hitler only affected...
And also, don't go here, please.
He only affected one timeline. Meanwhile, she affected multiple.
We don't know that.
Yeah, we do.
I'm pretty sure that every timeline that this game takes place in had Hitler.
But
I don't think that in the other timelines massively different histories happened.
I don't know.
This is stupid.